afternoon, or wherever you may be. This is Harriet Westmore. This is a special edition for Women in Public Safety podcast. This is the podcast where we discuss women challenges of human services, the challenges that we as women workers who work on the front lines with human services, social work, law enforcement, corrections, anything that has to do with the public. Um, we as women are working right there on the front line. So I want to welcome you. This is, like I said, this is a special edition. I know I usually do my recording on Saturday, but I wanted to do a live event because I have a very special guest. She's been a guest on one of my other podcasts, but I wanted to have her to come back and specifically talk about self-care for women who work in public safety and human services type profession. So I wanted to welcome Miss Erika Sardinha, and she is a trauma and abuse coach. She has her own website and a Facebook group, which I will definitely make sure I'll make sure you have that information for you at the end of the show. But this is a live broadcast. If you have questions or comments, please hit in the chat. We will highlight your comments or your questions, and I'm sure Erika would be more than happy to uh, chat with you. So again, Erika, welcome. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know it's a different time zone, but I appreciate you all the same. So welcome.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much for having me. I love chatting with you, and I was very excited to talk to this particular group of people, like women who are basically helping other people in traumatic situations and very stressful situations as well. So I'm like more than happy to be here, seriously.
Thank you. As I've mentioned this before, and I had it in one of my episodes about self care, but I wanted to talk with someone who actually is an expert of doing self care. And so, Erika, kind of just give us a background of working with the populations that you work with as a abuse, trauma and abuse abuse coach. I'm
Yeah,
sorry about
I
that. I would
have.
say self
Don't
abuse. I always
worry.
say
Don't,
that.
oh my God, please don't. Don't do it.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean that.
Don't worry, don't worry. So basically, what I do is I am an empowerment coach for survivors of trauma and abuse. So anyone who has been through traumatic situations or abusive situation, being from childhood or in your adult life. Sometimes I work with people who have been through abuse in domestic violence situation and so what happens when you go through abuse or through a traumatic situation is that you learn that your needs are not supposed to be met, right? And what happens usually in session, why people come to me is because they are looking for a way of like actually love themselves and make self-love and self-care stick,
Mhm.
right? And that's one part of my job. And then there's also the fact that we as women, we don't do self-care very well, right? We
Right.
have this question of let's take care of other people first, let's make sure that everybody is okay first, and then we come last. And for this particular public that we're talking here today, we're talking about people who probably in their personal lives they're not applying too much self-care, and at the same time on top of that family, kids, whatever they have going on top of that they are taking care of other people,
Mhm.
right? So the room for self-care, sometimes it feels like there is no space. And what I would like to do here, and I think you too, is to help people create that space for self-care, right? And not only self-care, sometimes people think about self-care, it's like, oh, going to the spa or whatever. So
Right.
we're talking
Right.
about self-care of you giving yourself what is it that you need for you to be emotionally, mentally, and physically stable. Of course, go to the spa, do your thing, go to the hairdresser. I love that. But we need to go a little bit deeper, and that's the part where I really like to work on.
So, with that being said, for those of us who may deal with different difficult situations on our jobs every day,
Yeah.
particularly, victims of crime, particularly domestic violence victims, and, they're going through their traumatic experience, but you can, um, as we as responders, first responders, or caregivers for those who are those in this type of situations, we may take on that trauma that
Yeah.
they're experiencing, or can relate to it on a personal note. So how do we take care of ourselves while taking care of our,
Hmm.
the people that we serve in the community?
Yeah, I believe it's more a matter of what you do
Hmm.
when you are not on the job that is going to actually help you while you are on the job. Of course, there
Hmm.
are certain things you can do on the job to help you, and we can go there. But the thing is, you need to create a foundation of self love and care for yourself first. So when you go out there and you go to do your job, you are not already full of your own struggles and left and lack of self-care and love, right?
Right.
So the thing is, we need to, instead of like it is, first of all, there are so many things about this topic. I'm getting
Yeah.
excited. But like, first of all, we need to understand that the fact that you are witnessing trauma, you are also going through trauma, right? It
Hmm.
is traumatizing to see violence on TV, right? It is traumatizing to witness violence. It is traumatizing to be in an environment where you have to manage and deal, and it's not only your emotions and other people's emotions. So I would say first, let's tackle that self regulation and take care of yourself first as an individual and outside of your work. So when you go to work in these spaces, you are whole and you are able to be present without giving away all your energy or giving away the little that you have because you didn't pour enough into yourself.
Right.
I guess that's the answer.
Yes. So I know you had mentioned several ideas or suggestions. What techniques should we do, or any kind of like meditation or
Hmm.
something that we can do on a daily before we,
Yeah,
get our
yeah,
mind right before we go to
completely.
work? Hmm.
Completely. Let's imagine that you are at home and you are cozy, right?
Hmm.
The heat is on, you're feeling really cozy, but then outside you go and it's freaking cold,
Hmm.
right? So, what you want to do is to basically, before you leave home, you put a coat on. You better put those socks on, right? So, and before you go to the cold, which is your job, you don't want to go
Hmm.
like summertime and
Right.
everything, right? So that's kind of the analogy that we're looking into when we go into doing this work before, and that's the best way I have to explain why we need to do the job,
Hmm.
this work before. So there are several things that you can do in the morning. I would advise you to create a morning routine. I think some people are not going to like this, but I think a morning routine is crucial for you to self-regulate and to function in this world, especially if you have such a difficult job and you are dealing with so many emotions. You want to ground yourself first before you step outside of your house. So I would say create a morning routine that would help you stay grounded throughout the day. So what is it that you can do during the morning routine? First of all, just understand that you don't need to have a long morning routine, wake up 2 hours early. Not everybody has that time, not everybody has that lifestyle,
Right.
right? So understand what is it that you can do, or at what time can you wake up? Maybe before the kids wake up and all that, which is something that happens with my clients. They're like, oh my God, like at 6 a.m., I already have to be up with the kids.
Hmm.
How about give yourself half an hour? Give yourself half an hour to sit down, journal a little bit, connect with yourself, set the intention for the day, and think about what is it that you want to give to the world today? How do you want to show up? Are there certain situations that usually take you completely off the rails or off track that you want to avoid today? And I would say journal about it. And I would say also meditate, right? Connect to yourself and make sure you access to that center in the morning before you do anything else. So I would say journaling, meditation, sitting in silence, listening to yourself. So many of us don't do this. So many of us
Right.
don't think about it. Like
Right.
in sitting in silence with yourself is already enough, because then you don't go and rush, and all of a sudden it is such a difference, right? You're at home, kids or not kids, whatever, getting ready, and all of a sudden, whoo, it's an emergency situation.
Right.
It's the contrast and what it does to your body. It's crazy. And then after you have like a set morning routine, don't give up on your morning routine too soon. Try to have at least 21 days with the routine, see it making a difference in your life, because you are trying to contrast years and years and years of behavior. So it's not just because maybe it happened, like sometimes it happens, I'm trying to transform something within me, and I meditate, something clicks, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. And it changes. But usually it's going to take some time. So you need to be a little patient with yourself. And the other thing, to avoid the clash between worlds, meaning you're at home, all of a sudden this is an emergency situation, what I would say is create some sort of a ritual to help you transition from, okay, this is Erika, the partner, now chilling at home. I am going to put my head on and
Mm-hmm.
start working. Maybe visualize, or there's this thing called positive triggers, where you can set triggers to help you with certain situations. For example, if you want to work out, just lay your clothes over there, your working out clothes, so
Mm-hmm.
you get up and see your clothes. So I would say find something. For example, the moment my feet touch the office, I'm going through the door, I am putting my head on,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of helps you transition into situation. And you can do this throughout the day, just to let go of one situation and get into another situation, because sometimes on the job it doesn't stop. You didn't even process whatever happened like 5 minutes ago, and you're already on the. So have that moment to be like, take a breather, create your own positive trigger, and then move on to the next thing.
Those are great suggestions, and especially I'm listening to you like first thing in the morning. I happen to work first shift, and I was just thinking, and it will be a challenge, but you're right. If I can get up just 30 minutes earlier, just enough just to kind of um, stay in silence, or just take, because I do have a journal, and just write something positive, to get my mind right before I even go into work, because it does, that will definitely help. And so the opposite, let's just turn it around when you're getting off work and you're transitioning from the day, and you've dealt with all whatever that was, the drama, the dealing with, all types of incidents and things that
Mhm.
are on your job. How can you decompress?
Yeah, you need to process the day. I would say process the day. Go
Okay.
through how it went, what went well. If it's very stressful, just sometimes we don't see any positives.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was a time where I was working as a volunteer at this neighborhood, was kind of like a ghetto, and I was trying to help kids, and their moms were either prostitutes, there were domestic violence, and I was working at this school, and I was like, my work doesn't mean anything, because like they go home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just cannot disconnect, because it's just like you go home and you're like, oh, I'm going to my comfy home, and it's a chaos over
Mm-hmm.
there. So I would say process. Go through the things that went well throughout the day. Oh, listen, Raquel brought me a coffee today. That was really
Mhm.
nice.
Mhm.
Well, at least that didn't happen today. Just think about things and process what happened, but more through a positive lens and try to not focus so much on everything that went badly because that's what we do, right? We're like,
Yeah.
what could we do?
Right. Right.
If you're in this job, like you want to help people, you want to help
Right.
people, and you're
Mhm.
thinking like, I should have done that, I should have taken care of these papers, I should have said that, I should what. So it is, if you're driving home, imagine you're driving home, maybe you can think about that. Yeah, just think about what went well today, what is it that you have to be grateful for. I think it's a beautiful way of you closing the work day, and then allow yourself to get into me mode again.
Mhm.
Getting to, okay, I was pouring myself out all day. Let me pour myself back to myself a little bit. You know, there is some meditations and some exercises that you can make, or some visualizations. They can be really quick, right?
Mhm.
Especially if you are already used to meditate, which is you just focus on getting your energy back to your body. Where did you leave your energy around? There was a stressful situation, just like just lost my energy over there. Just reclaim it, just claim it back. Just say,
Mm.
all my energies are coming back right now from everything and everybody where I dropped my energy. You can have like a little affirmation. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. When's the best time? I guess maybe this shouldn't be a set time, but is it beneficial or as far as preference, as far as journaling, which is more beneficial, to journal in the mornings or journal after the end of the day, or it,
I would
you
say
know,
both. I would say
both.
both.
Okay.
And do it for 5 minutes. I literally have a journal where I journal for 5 minutes. And let me grab it. And it's basically you start the day by saying how you want to feel, what are the intentions for the day. You
Mhm.
pick up an affirmation and try to look for the journal and say everything right. And that's what you do, what you're grateful for, and what can you do to have a better day. This is like 5 minutes. It takes you
Mhm.
nothing. And then at the end of the day, write about your highlights, your milestones, the best part of the day, the challenges or the lessons that you learned throughout the day, and how you're feeling right now that you go to bed. I feel in the morning you can get yourself up, set yourself up to success, right? This is how I want my day
Mhm.
to go. And in the evening, you get to process what happened and you get to say, okay, this was good. I've learned this lesson and I'm letting it go. Like, seriously, this is 5 minutes. I don't know if people can see it, but see, this is nothing. This
Oh
is morning
yes,
and this is
yes.
evening, right?
Okay.
It's nothing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea because you're starting your day of what your expectation and your hopes, and then as you
Mhm.
go through the day, at the end of the day, you reflect and look back at what happened and what didn't, what could have
Yeah.
happened, or how you feel about it, and so
Yeah.
during both days, both times of the day, I think that's a wonderful
Yeah. And
way of
can
taking
can
care.
you imagine, a month from now the information that you're going to have about yourself, how you
Absolutely.
felt, the situations, the challenges, the lessons, what you've learned, the gratitude over and over, how it's going to affect your mood on a day-to-day basis. But then after, also tracking patterns, which help us kind of
Mhm.
make the changes that we need to make.
That's true.
Mm.
That's true. I never thought about that. Yeah, that's true because you can track your look at if you're thinking or stressing about the same things every day. There's a pattern there, and so you can
Yeah.
look back and look at, well, what can I do to change that type of mindset or whatever. So that's a great idea.
Mm.
So let's talk about how to show empathy towards our community, who we serve, by protecting our energy. I know that was one of the things
Mm-hmm.
of, you just, how we, we give and give and give until we're depleted.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a balance there of protecting ourselves, and not, you know, having everybody deplete our energy while on the job.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I would say a lot of, I don't think people in your group lack empathy. I would say you are probably at the extreme of empathy. You probably have too much have empathy going on, and that you do it to your own detriment. So
Hmm.
I'm going to lead from there. Um, think about boundaries that you can have on the job. We don't think about it too often. We say, this is the job, this is how you do it. I'm a good person. Be careful with the thing about being a good person,
Hmm.
because having boundaries is not being a bad person, it's just having boundaries. For
Right.
you to protect yourself and from protecting others from robbing you of your peace, your
Hmm.
well-being, and all that. So I'd say yes, set boundaries, have boundaries in place, have figure out ways of you protecting yourself. I love imagining myself in a bubble, just a bubble of love.
Hmm.
It sounds very stupid and very little and very like, what is that gonna be? But when you have that image of you in a bubble, just say it's a bubble of love, right? Where love can come in, right? But you are still protected, and
Hmm.
see how that feels in your body. It's not a protective thing where nothing comes in and this is it, right? But just imagine yourself in a bubble of love where you have a part where you get to receive and you get to give, and replenish yourself throughout the day, meaning
Mm.
breaks. If all you have is 1 minute, listen, I used to work as primary and infant school teacher, right?
Mm.
Breaks are not very famous in the,
Right.
in the education school system, right? So, so listen, I would go to the bathroom and breathe for a minute.
Hmm.
It is okay. Go ahead and breathe for a minute. Let that thing out. There is this practice that I love, which is tapping meditation, where you tap in different points of your face and your body, right? This, take notes of it. Tapping meditation is wonderful to release, maybe if you want to do it at the end of the day. But obviously, we cannot go around like this.
Right.
People are like,
Right. People, are you okay? Do you need some help?
so if you need a break, you can just like tap through your fingers and
Okay.
just allow some. You see how simple that is and how crazy soothing it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just simple things to help you throughout today to fill up your cup a little bit. Even if you're not filling your cup to the max, you can
Hmm.
fill it up at the beginning of throughout the day. But think about it. You already filled up your cup in the morning, so you're stronger than usual. So you're more open, but you're also protected. You think about your little bubble of love, right? And when you have
Hmm.
the time, it doesn't matter if it's 30 seconds. Breathe in and out, in and out, in and out, and I am there for people, but I'm not allowing it to just take over me. And
Right.
at the end of the day, what went well? I do my journaling, I take my winter coat, I'm at home. And it's a complete different reality than just being on the go all the time, never stopping, never replenishing. This is like, what, 45 minutes of your day, all the tips
Yeah.
that we spoke about, but what a huge difference it can make.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. You've given some lot of good tips. So talk about you and your program, and if people want to reach out to you and as a coach, and because those are one of the resources that I suggest. If you need to talk to somebody, or you need somebody to help you with self care, um, someone like Erica would be a great resource. So talk about what you offer and how
Thank
people can get.
you. Thank you. You are so right. And one of the things we have in common as Black women, people who have been through trauma, people who love
Hmm.
helping other people. And today I wrote a post about this. I think that like my mission in life is to learn how to use all that, all the
Hmm.
help that I give to other on me, right? You're helping everybody. Help yourself. Get somebody to help you get centered. Get somebody to help you use those techniques that we spoke about, either me or something different that you need. In case what I said resonates with you, I have a one-on-one coaching program. It's called Next Level Thriving. It's all about helping you thrive from the inside out, taking care of yourself so you can thrive on the outside. I guess it's what we spoke about today. So, ways of you thriving at your work, as a partner, whatever you want to achieve in life, but feeling good on the inside, connecting with yourself. So, if you are interested, you can simply send me a DM. Just send me a DM with the word clarity. Say that you watched me on this live, and then we can talk about it. I always, always, always offer a free clarity session because we have to know each other. I need to know your situation. I need to give you a few tips, see how it responds. So if it aligns, then we can work together. But know that you're going to have that free clarity call. And yeah, if it aligns, I'd love to help you.
And I put the in the ticker, and I hope that's the correct website that people can reach you.
Oh my God. I don't know. I have to change that website because
Oh,
it's
okay.
Key RE before the life is an E. But it's okay. People can find me everywhere by Erika Sardinha. My social medias are Erika's Healing Space everywhere. So
Okay,
I'm an easy person to
Erica
find.
Healing Space, and that's on Facebook.
Erika's Healing Space. Yeah,
Okay.
that's on Facebook and on Instagram as well. You can find me by that name everywhere.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Any last thoughts or tips or wishes or blessings that you would like to grace our
Yeah.
audience?
I'm trying to look at the notes, but I think we spoke about everything. I would just say that it is very important that you find what works for you and look at this process from a lens of curiosity and not judgment, right? Because
Mm,
we all have crazy, busy lives, and I'm all about finding what works for you and with the time and the life circumstances that you have. So, yes, take action. And please don't be judgmental, be curious. If you can apply only two things that we spoke today, you are already changing your life. So just take that into consideration. And if you need support, I'm here. Harriet is here. Reach out.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you said the key word, do not be judgmental. I mean, keep an
Hmm.
open mind. Just have an open
Hmm.
mind because you just never know. I know one of the things about us that's working for in public safety, we kind of have a structured, and that's how we were trained to be structured, have a structured mindset. But for ourselves, we have to have an open mind and just kind of shift things and just be open to
Hmm.
receive
Hmm.
different perspectives. And you never know, that might make you better as a person and on your job as well as in your personal life. So Erica, I appreciate you as always. Thank you so much. And people, I really suggest that you reach out to her. She is wonderful. You could tell, but just her, I just love her just soothing voice, and she just has so many tips and resources for you. So thank you so much, and you guys be safe, and let's take care of ourselves.
Yes.
And that's it. Thank you. Bye bye.